the exact cold calling script that has made our clients millions. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to the channel. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, welcome back to the Still Building Podcast. My name is Anton Zhireliev. I'm an entrepreneur, investor, and founder of REI Pros. And this is a show for the architects, for the builders, and the operators who understand that success isn't built in theory, it is built in action. We are not here to fantasize about deals. We are here to build them brick by brick. And today I'm going to give you something practical, tactical, and deployable right after this conversation. So make sure that you follow along, take notes. Because over the last few episodes, I've talked about why this side hustle mentality is dangerous and why driving for dollars all day long makes you feel productive but doesn't actually scale your business, and why most investors stay stuck doing the $10 an hour activities while telling themselves that they're being entrepreneurs in the meantime. Today, I'm going to give you the actual framework that has generated millions in equity and assignment fees for our clients. There's not going to be hype, no motivation, just a system that you can use after listening to this episode. First, let's go ahead and fix the script myth. Now, most people think that script is kind of a cage, right? It keeps you in that robotic frame. It is forced. It is fake. That is why most people fail at the end of the day. A real script isn't a cage, and it shouldn't be one. It should be a map. It's a map. It's a set of checkpoints that guides a stranger from, hey, who is this? To, okay, I hear you, I trust you, let's go ahead and have a conversation. At REI Pros, this is what we train every caller on, and this is what I personally build after thousands of conversations, managing millions of outbound calls with my team. I call this the 4 pillars of $1 million script. Let's go ahead and go through them one by one. Pillar number 1, the pattern interruption. Guys, the first 5 seconds, I'm sure you know this, but they decide everything. The seller's brain is scanning for one thing only. Is this a salesperson or is this a telemarketer? Now, if you open with, hey, John, how are you today? Or, hey, John, are you the owner of 123 Main Street? Now, you've already lost them because you sound like every freaking one else that calls them on day to day. Instead, here's what works and here's what I recommend you use. Hey, John, I know I'm catching you totally out of the blue here, but I was actually looking at properties in your area and your name came up. Do you happen to be the owner of the one over on Elm Street? Now, just notice what happened in this opening. You acknowledged that the call was an unexpected one. You lowered the resistance by sounding human, and you're asking for help instead of pushing the sale forward. Guys, humans are wired to help. They're wired to resist to be sold. That one shift alone can change the entire conversation. Make sure that you take this one. Pillar number 2, the disarming discovery. Guys, once they confirm that they own the property, most investors just rush straight into it. Are you looking to sell right now? That's like asking someone to marry you on the first freaking date. Slow down. Instead, say something like, okay, got it. John, I'm going to be super brief here. I'm an investor in the area. I'm looking to take on another project. And I'm not even sure if you've ever considered it, but have you had any thoughts about moving on from the property, or are you planning to hold on to it long term? Now, you just gave them an out. When you say, I'm not even sure if you've ever considered it, you removed the pressure, guys. Nobody does that. And when the pressure drops, the honesty on the conversation just rises. This is psychology. This is not persuasion tricks or tactics. This is just human behavior. Pillar number 3, pain over price pivot. This is where most amateurs collapse, because if a seller shows even the slightest interest, the beginner will say something like, okay, well, how much do you want for it? And now you're just going to be negotiating blind, because price is a surface level conversation, because you really need to uncover the pain. Pain is leverage. Instead, pivot to saying something like, okay, so just so that I can understand if this even makes sense on my side, what's the main reason that you're considering selling right now? Is it the property itself, or is it the timing of my call? Now, you're just doing the digging for the why here. You're not buying houses, you are buying situations. You're trying to uncover if there's a divorce situation, an inheritance, landlord burnout, maybe there's a deferred tax maintenance issue, or a cash needed for the family in case of an emergency. When you uncover the real motivation, price becomes secondary, guys. At REI Elite Pros, this is the difference between cold leads and real opportunities that are being sent to you. Our job isn't to ask for the numbers, it is to uncover the real motivation. Pillar number 4, the low stakes close. Here's another very common mistake, and that is trying to lock up a contract on your first touch. Now, I know one cold closes happen, they're unicorns, but not often. That is just your ego talking. You do not sell the deal in the first call, you sell the next steps. Say something like, look, I don't want to waste your time or mine, but based on what you're telling me, I might have a couple of ways to structure something that could work. Would it be worth a 10-minute to sit down, maybe in person for coffee or via Zoom, to see if we can put something together later on in the week? Again, low pressure, mutual benefit, clear next steps. That's exactly how adults do business, FYI. Now let me be direct with you here if you don't mind, please. Because if you make 50 calls this week using this framework, you will feel the difference immediately, I promise you. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If after those 50 calls you realize that your ROI on time is terrible, if you realize that you're spending hours dialing instead of building, if you realize that you do not want to become a full-time cold caller, great. That's actually amazing, because that is when you graduate to becoming a business owner. That is exactly why we build a company like REI Elite Pros, because serious investors should focus on acquisitions, negotiations, raising capital, and building relationships, not manually dialing all day freaking long. If you want a trained team making up to 1,500 calls per day on your behalf using this exact framework that I just shared with you, that's exactly what we do. Reach out to us, reilitepros.com. Because you either build a system or you just plug into one that's already working. But stop pretending that you can scale by yourself forever. Your challenges this week? Go ahead and record yourself saying the script that I just aligned, listen back to it, and just look if you sound robotic. Do you sound human? Make the 50 calls. Go to your CRM or just pick up a list and make 50 calls. And don't focus on getting a yes. Just focus on hitting the 4 checkpoints that we talked about here. Number 1, pattern interruption. Number 2, disarming discovery. Number 3, pain over price. And number 4, low stakes close. Guys, success isn't about being a closer. It's about becoming an architect of the conversation and putting in reps after reps after reps. Now, if this episode gave you value, do me a huge favor if you don't mind. Follow the podcast, share it with another investor. If you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click that like button. And give me a follow on Instagram and YouTube, AntonZrei, AntonZrei. You can also follow me on Instagram there, because where I share is behind the scenes, I do deal breakdowns, and I do some real business lessons that I post on there weekly. We're not here to dabble, guys. We are here to build. My name is Anton Zhireliev, and this is a Still Building podcast, and we are just getting started.